Cult, a system of religious veneration and devotion directed toward a particular figure or object. And there have been many cults throughout history. Some are peaceful, dogmatic, even violent, and downright weird. In the Philippines, several cults have existed for decades, ever since the monopoly of the Catholic Church in terms of religious supremacy declined during the American period. Many of these denominations prevailed in rural areas. Among them are the Moncadistas, or the Moncado cult. This mysterious sect was known to have established colonies and communes throughout the country, but none is more famous than the Moncado colony in Cebu. So today we will be looking at some strange facts about the Moncadistas and their colony in Cebu. But before Kabilin Center channel, it will help us create more content for you. Now, are you ready to go occulting? In the beautiful mountains of Sudlon, Cebu, a denomination known as the Moncado cult, or the Filipino Crusaders World Army, or the FCWA, established a rural commune in Barangay Sudlon II. Its members, known as monkadistas, follow the teachings of their founder, General Hilario Moncado, a religious mystic who was believed by his disciples to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Even though such a claim is considered bizarre to many, the Moncadistas believed that Moncado had predicted the world's destruction because its inhabitants are drowned in vices and excess. Moncado and his followers established their sect during 1947, a few years after the Second World War. The early Moncadistas lived through the horrors of war in the rural countryside. That is why so many of them turned to Moncado's teachings of preparing mankind for another destructive conflict by living a regulated, disciplined lifestyle. In essence, it is like a doomsday cult. Today, the sect is led by Henry Jaime, a descendant of one of the denomination's founders, General Federico Jaime, who also served as the sect's supreme commander-in-chief of the forces of the world. Hilario Camino Moncado, the founder of the sect, was born on the 4th of November 1898 in the town of Pondol, Balamban, Cebu. According to records published by the Moncadistas, Moncado traveled to India at the age of 6 to study at the College of Mystery and Psychic in Calcutta. He was able to finish an 8-year course in just 3 years and graduated at the age of 9. He earned doctorate degrees in the philosophy of Kabbalah, philosophy of numerology, and the philosophy of human nature. Another account of Moncado's life, published in the Journal of Philippine Studies, states that Moncado left with a group of immigrants to Hawaii as a young man. There he interacted with Filipino laborers working in the sugarcane fields of the state. He is also said to have spent some time working in a salmon canning factory in Alaska. In 1925, Moncado founded the Filipino Federation of America, or FFA, the precursor of the FCWA. He later ran for the Philippine Senate in 1932 and established a branch of the FFA in the Philippines. He lost the election but was able to convince his followers to begin construction of a headquarters in a 10-hectare piece of land. During the Second World War, Moncado founded the FCWA and began appearing in public wearing an army uniform and addressing himself as a 6-star general. After the war, he ran for the presidency in 1946 but lost to Manuel Rojas. Moncado later tried to secure a U.S. citizenship but was unsuccessful. He and his wife, Diana Toy, eventually took up residence in Mexico, where he passed away on the 8th of April 1956 at the age of 57. In the hills of Barangay Sudlon, Cebu City, a gigantic concrete structure that seems curiously out of place looms over the landscape. This is the Moncado Hotel. The hotel has served as the general headquarters of the FCWA in Cebu since the 1960s. The three-story building measures about 50 feet, which is larger than an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The three-story building measures about 50 feet, which is larger than an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The eerie-looking structure seems to have popped right out of a horror movie. Its rundown appearance looks more like a dilapidated public school rather than an actual hotel. The complex sits on top of a small hill opposite another hill which encompasses the entire Moncado colony. In the valley between is a swimming pool with green-tinged stagnant water. Thought to be abandoned by the looks of it, locals claim the pool could still be used by the monkadistas for relaxation, and its shape also resembles that of a typical 1960s and 70s hotel pool. Across the pool, 3 statues grace the foot of the adjacent hill. On the right is the statue of Lorenzo de los Reyes, the FCWA's Director of Spiritual Division. He served as the spiritual head of the sect during its foundation. On the left is the statue of General Federico Jaime, the aforementioned Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the forces in the world of FCWA. Then at the center of the two is the founder himself, General Hilario Moncado. What is bizarre about this monument, however, is that he seems to be holding a long, elongated water pipe with a valve at the end. According to the monkadistas, the water that comes out of the pipe is said to provide spiritual nourishment and healing to Moncado's followers. Behind the monuments is an unfinished stone structure which will serve as the chapel or place of worship of the sect. And then on the hill behind, a stairway with concrete steps built onto the side leads up to the FCWA Botanical Garden and the ruins of the denomination's Sunday school. Nearby the moss-covered ruins is a view deck which gives visitors a commanding view of the Sudlon Valley and the surrounding areas. Going further up the stairs will then lead to a small mausoleum containing the tomb of General Federico Jaime and his wife Magdalena. The climb up the hill is steep, but it gives guests an ideal feel of the fresh mountain breeze. The remoteness of the location makes one reflect on the Moncadian ideals of man's virtue, encouraged by clean air, healthy living, and natural tranquility. Most religions today have a core belief or philosophy that serve as the foundation of their respective faiths. In the case of the Moncadistas, they believe in what they call the moral concept of man. This belief states that God is manifested in the morality of man. Thus, man must literally follow the virtues of morality for them to understand the divine. God is moral, moral is man, and man is God. The Moncadistas also believed that any form of vice can only lead to destruction, and so they practice, or in essence, try to practice, a vice-free lifestyle. They follow strict rules in abstaining from anything that is considered immoral and wrong, such as drinking hard liquor, smoking nicotine, and any form of carnal pleasure. And like in most doomsday cults, the Moncadistas believe that a communal lifestyle can help them prepare for the upcoming Armageddon, in which they believe is when man strays away from their virtues. As mentioned earlier, the Moncadistas believed that man's moral conduct is essential to understand God, so it is no surprise that they abstain from any form of vice and anything that is deemed immoral. Alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs are super red flags to the Moncadian believers. For them, these vices help destroy not only the body, but also their soul, as well as their moral virtues. But there is one interesting item which the Moncadistas also abstain from, and that is salt. For the members of the sect, salt disrupts the natural flow of the body and can be harmful to one's health, although we are not entirely sure how salt can possibly harm the human body. So the Moncadistas eat their food bland. Apart from abstaining from salt, Moncadistas also refrain from eating red meat. Like many other Christian denominations, they believe pigs and cows to be dirty and should not be absorbed by the human body. Though this diet was quite typical for communal living, especially if what you normally eat are just fruits, vegetables, and bland meat, there was a reason behind this. Their strict, healthy diet was done with the purpose of keeping them safe from the event of a nuclear explosion that would destroy the world's food supply. The topography of the colony in the cold mountains of Sudlon also provides the Moncadistas a good supply of vegetables and fruits. The sect today focused more on saving people from a nuclear holocaust rather than from the fires of eternal damnation. So if you're a vegan who fears a nuclear apocalypse and just wants to live out your life in a fresh and natural environment, then the Moncado colony is the best place to be. So what do you think about the Moncadistas and their colony in Sudlon? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kabilin Center channel for more interesting facts you would like to hear about. And we hope to see you in the next episode.